and welcome to the second video of this week. Today we're going to talk about protein, carbs and fats and how we can take the knowledge and understanding of them into an applied practice into our day-to-day life. So I'm just going to start off linking the carbs, protein and fats to calories. So I'll just carry on.
Yeah, I'll let you go on that one. Yeah. You can take this one.
So on Monday or Tuesday, whatever they went out, at the top we have the calories that everything kind of adds up into. So whether you're having tuna, pasta, avocados, whatever, it all adds up to a certain amount of calories. In those calories, that's then made up of, like I've just mentioned, the different food groups. So you have your carbs, proteins, fats. So whatever portion size you have of those throughout the day, that'll equal your calories. So when kind of think about how much of each one should I have, how much fats, how much carb, protein, we kind of say think about calories as the big one at the top. So you want to focus mainly on the calories, and then you can focus on protein, because protein is really good for so many other things like the muscle recovery, keeping you full, so many other like functions of the body, that's the one that we kind of want to keep note of and keep high. But because we're then focusing on calories and protein, it's kind of just way over the top and unrealistic to then count the amount of carbs and fats as well in terms of grams. So don't worry about those too much either. Focus on the protein, making sure you're getting 30 to 40 grams in each meal, and then the rest of the portion size will just be a combination of carbs and fats. Don't worry too much about, should I have 100 grams or 150 grams of all this and that? Don't worry. So focus on the protein, and then the other two, how much pasta you have, or how much olive oil or avocado or rice, whatever else you have, just literally just work that into the calories. Don't worry about the grams. I don't know where else I was going with that. So yeah, focus on the protein, don't worry about the carbs and fats, and then as a whole, that'll add up to the calories.
Yeah.
Anything else, right?
Not really. So that's, again, obviously we've got different goals from everyone in this challenge this year. So that's what G's just explained there is very much focused on weight loss, weight gain, that sort of thing. If yours is performance based, like sort of longer endurance training, things like that, then you might need to look at carbs a little bit more. But that is going to be a little bit more specific to you. So if that is you, if you're thinking, I don't know if I'm having enough for my training, things like that, you'll sort of start to feel it in training a little bit. Just be aware of it, and then come and speak to us, and we'll be a bit more specific, tailor it a little bit more to you from there.
Because a lot of people initially will go, I need to cut out carbs because carbs are bad, but they're not. So if you are finding that you're feeling fatigued and that training in the gym just seems to be going down, you're waking up tired, you don't feel like you're recovering very well, it could be that actually you could do with another handful of pasta or rice or something somewhere in the day to help with the carbs as well. Because that will also play a part in the calories. So if you increase your carbs, obviously you'll increase your overall calories too.
I've just remembered a question we had last week. And that was to do with the low and high fats, which we said I think we was going to answer a little bit more detail today.
Yes.
So if you are looking at cutting calories, if fat loss is your goal, then foods that are higher in fat are obviously higher in calories. So without throwing too many numbers at you, higher fat foods have obviously got a lot more calories in, so cutting down on them can be an easier way to cut down a lot more on your calories. For if it's swapping in for lower fat foods, yes, they have got more sugar in, but they've got less calories in as well, which is what we touched on last week. And then lower fat sources of protein as well. So if we're concentrating on protein, red meat is quite high in fat. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it, but there is more calories in it. So there is like lower fat options. Obviously the 5% minced beef and things like that. And there are other red meat options like venison and things like that. They're a lot lower in fat, which mean they are lower in calories. And it's the same with fish as well, like so mackerel, salmon, things like that. Again, really good for you. Plenty of good fats in there, and they are good for you. I don't like saying that, but they're not necessarily bad, but they are higher in calories. So if calories are something you're looking to cut down, then the higher fat foods might be something we could look at as well.
So yeah, we're always mentioning chicken, like, oh, eat loads of chicken, but then the type of chicken you get, so a chicken breast is, say good, but low in calories. If you get chicken thighs or, is it legs or something, where it's got like the skin on. So the skin's the fat part, so that is nice and flavoursome as it might be, it's the fatty bit, so that will add up with the calories. So even when you buy other like seasoned sources of protein, like even prawns as well, sometimes they're in lots of olive oil and butter and stuff. So that's like, you can't have a good and a bad food. It just depends what you've served it with and how you've cooked it and how it's come prepared as well. So just watch out which ones and what foods you're getting, whether it's source of protein, carbs or whatever, what it's actually coming with and what you then cook it with. Because there's a lot of recipes that will say, oh, add in a tub of butter or like some wine or sugar or anything, which then alters it obviously, because you're then adding more to the original food that it was. So yeah, just focusing on the calories as a whole and then the protein.
Yeah. I think that is protein, carbs and fats covered on there. So as always, any questions, you can shoot us a message or a comment or get your questions in on the type form check-in form on a Friday or Saturday.
Both days, yeah.
Both days.